Hi. This is a poem called "The Alexander Library, circa 1980. And there is another video of this, but it's part of a consolidated video that I made before, I think 2020, before I started recording individual poems. I've been thinking a lot about change anyway, so it's really, in memories and things, so it's good to come back to this. Things were a lot different in 1980. One thing I was thinking about, I have something here. This is these fold-up ashtrays would be in all of the student centers, which was one place people studied. And people would take, there were stacks of them, hundreds, when you walk into the student center. Students would grab them and smoke while they studied. A very different atmosphere then. And they also had them they also had pubs in the student centers because at least people graduating in my year, had been able to drink on campus from their whole college tenure. So I actually had a pub card, which enabled you to get into the pub, which was another good place to study. They played really good music, and it was fun. But I lost it in the Trade Center, and then probably got it back because I used to carry it in my bag as a souvenir. So it's probably my garage, but I never opened that bag. So out of sight, out of mind in a way. But in Alexander Library, on the upper floors, and I know it's not that way today because I looked up pictures. I haven't been there, but I looked up pictures, and it's much cleaner and fresher environment there now. But before it was stodgy and old-fashioned, and they were on the upper floors. There were these steel cages. I think they called them study carrels, and I can't even find a picture of one in Alexander Library today because I guess it's all been redone. But they were battleship gray steel cages. I'm not sure if they had a door or not. They had an opening to get in, but you would have been able to seal yourself off. And it would be on an old wooden desk, and people would carve all kind of initials and names and stupid things and keys and knives and pens and things. And they were mostly, a lot of them were obviously, juvenile and rude and so forth. But some of them were just, initials and sayings, like you would expect to find on an old wooden desk. But this is called Alexander Library, circa 1980. Oh, the other thing about it was the computers. I mentioned computers because you didn't have personal computers like you did a few years later. So you knew the computer science majors because they were all carrying around stacks and boxes of computer punch cards that they wrote their computer code, whatever, line by line, character by character, however that worked. And they would run these things through card readers, IBM card readers to reconcile their programs. It was amusing. English majors, you could tell an English major because we were sitting under a tree with our eyes closed thinking, or sitting in groups just having rabid discussions about inane or arcane philosophical things. Alexander Library, circa 1980. Before computers, we read books in steel cages, lining the vault-like walls of university libraries, humming fluorescent tubes and fluttering eyelids, bane of the note-taker, pen-ripping paper in the groove of distracted scrimshaw carved by generations of the bored and deviant, whose pressing concern was whether the pub would still be open after this chapter ended. Google carved initials today. All you find are fonts. And what fun is that? It's no fun, to tell you the truth. And I did Google, I did search for carved initials, thinking I'd find pictures of wooden desks and wooden tables and things, bar tables and stuff carved. Kind of like Kilroy was here and stuff. But all you find are advertisements for fonts of Roman chiseled initials, right? So there you go. Alexander Library, circa 1980.